Something strange is happening inside Buckingham Palace. No royal decree. No press conference. Just a single, quiet decision. One that Prince William approved behind closed doors. And now the entire foundation of the British monarchy is shifting. Without warning, the children of Duchess Sophie, long kept out of the spotlight, have suddenly been elevated. New titles, new responsibilities, and a new role in the future of the crown. It's a move no one predicted. And yet, it's already sending shockwaves through royal corridors. Why would Prince William, the future king, rewrite the hierarchy now, while his father still wears the crown? Why choose Sophie's children for such a powerful elevation when other royal figures are still clawing for attention? And most of all, what does this quiet decision reveal about the future of the monarchy itself? Because beneath the golden smiles, perfect portraits, and official ceremonies, there's a deeper game being played. And it's unfolding one whispered move at a time. The question is no longer if Prince William is preparing to rule. It's how soon, but that's only the beginning. In a royal family often defined by spectacle, scandal, or succession battles, one woman quietly earned her place, not through headlines, but through loyalty. Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, was never meant to be center stage. She didn't marry into the crown with fanfare or rebellion. And she never courted media attention like Princess Diana or Meghan Markle. Instead, she stayed in the background, steady, calm, and quietly indispensable. While other royal figures have risen and fallen in public opinion, Sophie built something different: trust. Not with tabloids, not with Twitter, but with Queen Elizabeth herself. The bond between the two women ran deep, so deep, that Sophie once referred to the late Queen publicly as Mama, a term of affection, and respect no other royal dared speak aloud. Those close to the palace say that in the Queen's final years, it wasn't Camilla or Anne she confided in most. It was Sophie. Her influence was silent but strategic. While the press obsessed over royal feuds, Sophie was traveling to some of the world's most dangerous regions, representing the crown with humility and grace. She didn't just serve the monarchy, she strengthened it. Behind every powerful institution is a quiet pillar holding it up. For the House of Windsor, that pillar was Sophie. But her rise wasn't just personal. It was the beginning of something much bigger, something that would soon pull her entire family into the future of the throne, and that's where the story takes a dramatic turn. While palace walls shielded many royals from the real world, Sophie walked directly into it. Long before cameras followed her, long before she earned international headlines, Duchess Sophie made a decision most royals wouldn't dare: to go where few of them ever had, into conflict zones. She didn't just wave from a distance or attend charity galas. She boarded flights into war-torn countries where silence covered stories no one wanted to hear. South Sudan, Sierra Leone, the Democratic Republic of Congo. Sophie went to the heart of human suffering, not as a photo op, but as a witness. Her mission? To shine a light on gender-based violence in war zones, a subject many leaders, let alone royals, often ignored. Survivors spoke and Sophie listened, not behind a podium, not in rehearsed sound bites, but face to face, eye to eye, with a quiet strength that earned their trust. In recognition of her unwavering advocacy, she was awarded the Hillary Rodham Clinton Award, placing her in a rare class of global humanitarian voices. Suddenly, Sophie was being compared not just to Princess Anne, but to Angelina Jolie, another advocate for wartime survivors. And yet, Sophie never bragged. She never broadcasted her missions or sought applause. She let her actions speak, and they spoke volumes. Those inside the royal institution began to see her differently. Not as a secondary figure in the royal lineage, but as a strategic asset, a trusted voice, a secret weapon in the monarchy's quiet war for relevance, and now that trust is extending to her children. But what makes her decision for them so shocking is that it went against centuries of royal tradition. In a family where titles are everything, Sophie and Prince Edward made a radical choice. They refused to crown their children with them. Legally, Both James and Louise were entitled to the styles of His and Her Royal Highness. As grandchildren of the reigning monarch through the male line, tradition allowed them to be known as Prince James and Princess Louise, but their parents said no. Instead, they raised them simply as Lady Louise Windsor and James, Viscount Severn. Far from the stiff protocol of palace life, they went to ordinary schools, had ordinary friends, and lived as much as possible ordinary lives. When asked about it in a rare interview, Sophie didn't sugarcoat her decision. She said plainly, "We try to bring them up with the understanding that they are very likely to have to work for a living." That one sentence shook centuries of royal expectations, while other royal children were growing up in front of cameras, memorizing royal duties and preparing for public life. Louise and James were quietly building independence, guided by humility, not hierarchy. They weren't paraded for press photos or used to boost public approval. In fact, most of the British public could walk right past them on the street and never know who they were. And that's exactly how Sophie wanted it. For years, this approach seemed to work. Louise, a quiet presence with a love for carriage driving, just like her late grandfather Prince Philip, was admired for her grace. And James remained mostly out of view, protected from the spotlight. But now, everything is changing, because Prince William has just rewritten their future, with a single royal decision that stunned even insiders. For years, James and Louise lived in the quiet shadows of royalty. But then, out of nowhere, the silence broke. Prince William, not King Charles, made the move. With full approval, William supported a dramatic title change. James, once known quietly as Viscount Severn, was elevated to Earl of Wessex, the same title his father held before becoming the Duke of Edinburgh. At first glance, it might seem ceremonial, just another name change in the long line of British nobility. But within the royal system, titles are never just titles. They're assignments, signals, power markers. By elevating James, William sent a loud message wrapped in a quiet gesture. Sophie's son is no longer just a background royal. He is now positioned for purpose. Not to fade away, but to step up, and he's not alone. Lady Louise, once the most under-the-radar grandchild of Queen Elizabeth II, has started appearing more frequently at public events, polished, poised, purposeful. Every appearance feels deliberate, as if a stage is being set for greater responsibility. But here's the twist. This elevation didn't come with fanfare. No public announcement, no major ceremony. Just a quiet reshuffling that stunned royal watchers and left insiders whispering about what William is really planning. Was this a gift of gratitude to Sophie for her years of loyalty? Or was it something bigger? Because this wasn't just about Sophie's children gaining titles. It was about William claiming control. And what that says about the current state of King Charles's reign will shock you. If there's one thing Prince William learned from watching his family, it's that survival isn't guaranteed. Not even for the crown, scandal after scandal. Royal feuds aired on global television, accusations, exits, and the slow erosion of public trust. The British monarchy has never looked more vulnerable. And William knows it. That's why insiders believe his decision to elevate James and Louise wasn't just about rewarding Sophie and Edward. It was part of a bigger strategy. Strategy to slim down the monarchy and tighten the circle. In this new vision, not every royal makes the cut. Those who chase drama? Faded. Those who tarnished the family name? Pushed aside. And those who remained loyal, humble, and scandal-free? They're being quietly positioned for power. That's why Sophie's family matters more than ever. While others drew headlines, they built trust. And William? He's looking for people he can depend on, not just to wave from balconies, but to carry the burden of the crown in a divided world. Louise and James represent a different kind of royal, modern, modest, and malleable. They haven't been corrupted by the spotlight, and that makes them perfect for William's future monarchy, a monarchy built on stability, not spectacle. It's no longer about bloodline alone. It's about who deserves to stand beside the next king. And with every move William makes, it becomes more clear. He's not waiting for his father to pass the torch. He's already taking control. And what's happening inside the palace right now could mean the crown is shifting far sooner than we thought. At 76, King Charles wears the crown. But not all eyes are on him anymore. His health has become a quiet concern behind palace gates. Whispers of fatigue, missed appearances, a reign that feels more symbolic than sovereign. After waiting decades for the throne, Charles's time as king already feels limited, and standing just behind him, calm and composed, is the son who no longer seems like a prince in waiting, but a monarch in motion. Prince William has increased his visibility with military visits, diplomatic events, and carefully crafted public appearances. He isn't stumbling into leadership. He's rehearsing it, one calculated move at a time. And this latest title shift for Sophie's children? It wasn't a mistake. It was a message, not just to the public, but to the palace. Behind the scenes, some insiders believe William is already shaping the monarchy as if it's his, choosing who rises, who remains in the inner circle, who gets quietly moved aside. It's not a rebellion. It's a restructuring. Because Charles may hold the crown, but William is already building the kingdom he intends to inherit. And it's not just Charles fading from the spotlight. Queen Camilla's public role has quietly diminished, her once frequent appearances now occasional. Some royal watchers believe she's intentionally retreating, preparing for a shift she cannot stop. And what about Princess Anne, the monarchy's iron pillar? She's still there, still working, but she can't hold it all forever, which leaves one man, already planning, already picking his team, already choosing his vision: William, the king who isn't king yet, but might already be calling the shots. But if the crown is moving toward him, who else is quietly losing power? The monarchy doesn't shout when it changes, it whispers, and right now, those whispers are louder than ever. There were no official statements when James became the Earl of Wessex. No flashing headlines when Lady Louise began appearing more publicly. No press release confirming Prince William's growing authority. But every title, every photo, every subtle absence tells a story. The crown is being reshaped, not with royal proclamations, but with silent shifts. The elevation of Sophie's children may seem like a simple gesture, but in the coded language of royalty, it means so much more. It signals who the future monarchy will trust, who will be visible, and who will quietly disappear. And that's the genius of William's strategy. He's not tearing down the institution. He's rebuilding it from within, slowly, quietly, precisely. Gone are the days of bloated royal calendars and endless patronages. William is crafting something leaner, a monarchy that rewards loyalty over legacy, service over status, and character over celebrity. And Sophie's family fits that mold perfectly. They haven't chased attention. They haven't courted controversy. They've simply stayed the course, and now they're being rewarded with power. But the public? They're just starting to realize what's happening. Because while everyone was distracted by the noise of other royal dramas, William was reorganizing the monarchy under their noses. And what's most surprising isn't what he's done. It's how no one saw it coming. Because if this was just about Sophie's children, why does it feel like the entire monarchy is being quietly rearranged? In a palace filled with titles, tradition, and bloodline politics, Prince William is making a different kind of choice. He's not just surrounding himself with royals who were born into privilege. He's elevating those who've proven they can be trusted. And that's exactly what Sophie, James, and Lady Louise represent. Not entitlement, but earned respect. Sophie has never chased clout. Her husband, Prince Edward, has never fueled headlines. And their children have never exploited their royal bloodline for fame or advantage. In a family that has seen its fair share of fractures, they have quietly held the line. And now, William is responding the only way that matters in the House of Windsor, with recognition, responsibility, and reach. Because the crown doesn't just need heirs. It needs allies, not the ones who show up for photo ops, but the ones who show up when the cameras are gone. That's why the elevation of James to Earl of Wessex isn't just symbolic, it's strategic, and why Louise's slow entrance into public duty isn't random, it's rehearsed. William isn't just thinking about today. He's thinking about the storm to come. He knows that public support is fragile, that scandals can erupt overnight, that even the strongest monarchs fall when they lean on the wrong people, and so he's building a new inner circle, one that values loyalty over legacy, integrity over image, and service over spectacle. And in this circle, Sophie's family stands at the center, but the question now isn't just who William trusts. It's how far he's willing to go to protect the monarchy from those who've already broken it. No horns were sounded. No throne room announcements. And yet the monarchy has shifted. What began as a simple title adjustment for Sophie's children has become something far more profound, a window into the future of the crown itself. Prince. William is no longer waiting for destiny. He's reshaping it, one quiet move at a time. By elevating James and easing Louise into public life, he's not just honoring loyalty, he's investing in a different kind of monarchy. One that values quiet service over noise, dignity over drama, legacy earned, not assumed. And at the heart of it all stands Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, once overlooked, now essential. Her influence, once invisible, is now setting the stage for the next era of royal leadership. Not through scandal, not through spectacle, but through example. As King Charles continues his reign in the shadow of time and Camilla fades softly from the spotlight, William is already scripting Act 2. And the cast he's chosen? Not the loudest voices, but the quietest strengths. This is the kind of change that doesn't break tradition. It redefines it. Silently, strategically, permanently. Because in the world of royalty, revolutions don't come with fire. They come with whispers, and sometimes, the most powerful shift in a kingdom doesn't begin with a crown. It begins with a name,